Hi and welcome to the Running Channel Monthly Show for August, brought to you by our friends at Wiggle.
Here's what's coming up.
Time to take a look at some of the racing that's been going on this month, and over 10,000 of you took part in the London Landmarks Half Marathon, and even more of you tackled the Vitality Big Half 2. There was also a week of running festivities over in France at UTMB Mont Blanc, with mountain ultra running galore.
We're now looking ahead to September in this month's See You on the Start Line, and it is well and truly the start of autumn marathon season. So after all the cancellations and postponements because of COVID in 2020, September is a packed racing schedule, with the first of the World Marathon Majors of 2021 taking place in Berlin on the 26th of September. I hope to see some of you there. Tell us in the comments if you're going to be running or cheering on as a spectator. There's also the Great Manchester Run and Brighton Marathon later this month, and if you're running that, be sure to check out my mile by mile video when I took part in 2019.
Don't forget, if you're looking at training for a marathon or maybe a 5K, check out the Running Channel's website for our free downloadable training plans, and turn your notifications on our YouTube channel too, as we've got plenty of training guide videos to help you every step of the way. On to running news for August, and was anyone else glued to their TV watching the Olympics? What an incredible event it was in Tokyo, even with no crowds. My highlight has to be the equestrian, the show jumping.
I didn't know you were into horses, Rick.
I'm a big show jumping fan. Did you know Jess Springsteen, Bruce's daughter?
The boss's daughter?
Yeah, was also taking part. Her
cool.
horse was called, what was it? Don Juan van de Donkhoven.
There you go.
There you go. What about you, Anna?
Well, I mean, obviously we're the running channel, so it's going to have to be running, but it's a tough call to make. So either the women's 800 metre final, so Team GB had 3 athletes in that racing for the medals, and Keely Hodgkinson brought home the silver. Or maybe staying up to watch the men's marathon in the early hours of Sunday morning and seeing Eliud Kipchoge breeze home. So it's probably Eliud Kipchoge for me. He's just so inspirational. Actually, have you seen the new Ridley Scott documentary, The Last Milestone?
I haven't, but I've heard it's brilliant.
It really is, and it goes into so much detail about his mindset, the training, and the incredible science that went into his sub-2-hour marathon in Vienna. And I might be a little bit biased, but you might even have seen a very brief cameo from yours truly.
Really?
Blink and you'll miss it though.
I will keep my eyes peeled. Elsewhere, and British ultra runner Rhys Jenkins has set a new record for running from John O'Groats to Land's End. But if that wasn't enough, Rhys also summited each of the home nation's highest peaks along the way, so Ben Nevis, Scafell Pike and Snowdon. The Welshman completed the feat in 23 days, 7 hours and 19 minutes, more than 7 days quicker than the previous record. He was running in support of the child abuse support charity, the Lucy Faithfull Foundation, after his wife Keris was abused as a child. An epic achievement for an incredible cause.
Absolutely. And finally, we have a new women's world record at parkrun. Adelaide-based parkrunner Caitlin Adams broke the parkrun global record at Lochiel Parkrun earlier this month, clocking an incredible 15 minutes and 38 seconds. That's 22 seconds quicker than the previous record holder, Charlotte Arter. Way to go, Caitlin.
Next up, the Treadmill Challenge with Zwift. This month we have Akesha Smith taking it on. Now, if you saw our video this month where our presenters took on a load of Running Channel community members in the new Strava group challenges, you might recognise Akesha. She's a track athlete in the hurdles, so how will she fare on the treadmill?
Okay, and we are starting in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Who won the men's marathon at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games?
Oh, I didn't even watch the marathon. I'll just put it up. It's okay.
Okay, question 2. How long in meters is the steeplechase at the Olympics?
Is it 10,000 meters?
No, it's 3,000 meters.
Oh my
Put the
God.
speed up again. Next question. Which artist released the song Run to the Hills in 1982?
I wasn't even alive. Okay, we're going up the speed.
Up again, okay. Roughly how many muscles does it take to take a step to the nearest 100 muscles?
What? 10?
No, 200.
Oh, for the love of God.
Next question. How many people were reported to be participating in running in 2013 to the nearest million people?
Oh my God. 2 million?
19 million. Put the speed up.
Oh my God.
Next one. Run the Mile You're In, Finding God in Every Step was written by which American athlete who retired in 2016?
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, never mind.
Put the speed up. Which artist released the studio album titled Run in 2015?
Oh God. These questions are horrible.
We're going up again. Okay, next question. In what decade was the first Amsterdam Marathon?
Aw. I don't even know what to say.
Have a guess, have a guess.
Never mind.
Okay, put
Up
the
the
speed up.
speed.
Okay, how long is the Thames River in marathons to the nearest marathon?
10,000?
Did you say 10?
Yeah.
Oh, you were close. It's 13 though, so put the speed up.
Oh my God.
Next one. Roughly how many women finished the Boston Marathon in 2019 to the nearest 1,000?
500?
No, 2,000. Next one. The first modern college track meet was held between Oxford and Cambridge in England in which year?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
Put the speed up. Next one. Where did the steeplechase originate?
Oh, I have no clue.
It was Ireland. Put the speed up. Next one. Olympic female runner Merlene Ottey Page of Jamaica has won the most medals at the Olympics compared to any other female runner. How many medals has she won?
10?
Ah, so close. 9. Put the speed up.
Oh my God. Why do you ask me about food? Or about the sprints? Ah, sweet baby Jesus, oh my God. I'm not made for this.
Amazing stuff. Well done, Akesha. A time of 3 minutes and 25 seconds puts her in 4th place. That goes to show, if you're a fast runner, it doesn't always matter how many questions you get right.
Another one ahead of me. And still, we've got loads coming up, including your chance to win a voucher to spend at show sponsor Wiggle, so don't go anywhere. Now, let's look at the running launches for August. First this month, a huge launch from watch brand COROS. The Vertix 2 hit the market a couple of weeks ago and has some big selling points. It has the largest ever screen on a COROS watch, a 1.4-inch touchscreen to be precise. You can view 8 data fields at once and all the maps can be viewed in colour too. Now the battery life of this bad boy is out of this world, up to 60 days in a single charge in normal daily use and a staggering 140 hours in standard full GPS mode. And this is a really nice touch too. The Vertix 2 ships in its own waterproof hard case, so once the watch is firmly on your wrist, the case can then be used to keep your phone, keys, wallet all safe. Nice.
Onwards now to On. See what I did there? Sorry. Yeah, just love a pun. On launched their brand new shoe, the Cloudstratus, this month. So it's the second iteration of this model and has a totally re-engineered bottom unit to give it the highest level of cushioning amongst all On models. The shoe is made for road running from 5K up to marathons. And if you've ever experienced swollen feet on a long or warm run, or maybe you're like me and have a slightly wider foot, these shoes cater for that with a wider forefoot for your toes to have a bit more space. space. And sticking with On, Rick and I recently met some of you at the On London Lab for some fascinating expert Q&A sessions with nutritionist Reenie McGregor, Olympic performance psychologist Charlie Unwin, and adventurers The Tempest 2. Now, if you couldn't make it down to see us there, don't panic. You can watch all the videos on the Running Channel website, and we've popped the link in the description of this video too.
Sticking with shoes, and it's another launch for Hoka One One this month. The update to the Rincon features an asymmetrical tongue, thinner pull tab, and a vented mesh upper. Plus, it has an extra light midsole and an enhanced rubber coverage for improved durability. We're yet to get our hands on these, but we will report back once we've clocked up some miles in them.
And our final shoe launch for August is the 361 Meraki 4. Now, this is a neutral shoe that claims to be versatile over long distances for many different running styles and abilities. If you're a fan of the likes of the New Balance Fresh Foam 8 ATV10, Saucony Ride 13, or the Nike Zoom Pegasus, then this fits into that kind of bracket.
Our last launch in the spotlight is a brand new running dynamics gadget from Incus. The Incus Nova allows access to detailed running performance metrics that include running power, cadence, and pace. Now, Anna, you've been trying this one out for a future video, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Now, it's a really interesting piece of tech that you can use for swimming and running. So it looks a little bit like a computer mouse. And then to wear it, you've got to slot it in between your shoulder blades in a little pouch that's stitched into the Incus tops.
Right.
And then all the data points give you automated feedback to improve your performance. So the company is backed by Alistair Brownlee, and the lead engineer is a Loughborough University graduate who has a background working for Dyson.
Looking forward to seeing the results of the testing on that one. Next up, over to Manni in the physio room, who's taking a look at the importance of core strength for runners, something that's very close to my heart.
Welcome to the Physio Room with me, Manni Avola. I'll be answering questions from the Running Channel community about the key aspects of strength and conditioning in relation to running, as well as queries about common running ailments. If you're struggling with a particular injury, then you should speak to a medical professional in person, as we cannot diagnose your individual problems. However, there are plenty of common injuries that we can talk about and hopefully help you with. Today's question is about core strength. How can I work on strengthening my lower abdomen? So, core strength. Core strength is important because it helps support control at your pelvis. Additionally, it can help with your breathing. So we should definitely be thinking about doing core strength. Some of the really good lower abdominal core exercises are the dead bug, the long lever leg lift, and the hollow hold. These exercises are great at really trying to get you to engage your pelvis and squeeze your lower abdominals. I would advise you to do these exercises to supplement your running rather than doing them on their own. Doing these exercises 2 to 3 times a week after a session, as long as you've had a rest after the training session, will be really important. What that will do is supplement those muscles and increase the contraction of those muscles after the training session. So don't forget your core. If you have any other questions for me, I will do my best to answer them, but I need you to send them through. So send them to physio@therunningchannel.com and I'll answer them for you next month.
Cheers, Manni. I am definitely guilty of neglecting my core, but you don't even need to spend ages on it. Manni's got a 10-minute follow-along core workout on the Running Channel, which is a great place to start.
You know I love my strength and conditioning. Thank you so much for sending in your questions for Manni to answer. And speaking of questions to answer, next up, it's Ask TRC. If you have a burning question for the team, make sure you drop it in the comments or email asktrc@therunningchannel.com and it could feature in our next show. First up, Tim asks, how slow should a recovery run be? That's a great question and something that us runners tend to miscalculate a lot.
Absolutely. I was so guilty of this when I started running. So starting with the basics, recovery runs are usually defined as a shorter, easy run that's done within 24 hours of a harder one. So that harder run could have been an interval or a track session, a really taxing tempo, or a really long run. Anything that puts more stress on your body, basically. And there's no set answer to how slow they should be because we're all different. But the best advice is that a recovery run can be whatever you want it to be, with one massive proviso. It should never be fast or long enough that it compromises your next key run. So personally, I would tend to do recovery runs without a watch, or at the very least, not looking at it at all. Pace really doesn't matter. Set yourself a time, 20 minutes or half an hour, and stick to that by going on feel.
Next up, Sophie Tellier commented on one of our previous monthly shows to ask for tips to be a morning runner. I'm going to take this one, Anna. I know it's not your forte.
Yeah, definitely not. I like my snooze button too much.
Now, I've said this on multiple occasions and I'm going to say it again. Think of your motivation like bathwater. If you take the plug out in the morning, throughout the day, it seeps away, which means by the time you get to the end of the day and you're planning to run, you might just not feel like it. My tips for going out early are get your stuff ready the night before. If it's going to be cold, then pop your stuff on a radiator so it's warm when you put it on. And get your breakfast and cup of tea or coffee ready to go so it's waiting for you before or after your run.
Great tips. And take a note of how you feel on the run and after when you do go out in the morning, because chances are you'll feel great, and harnessing that feeling each time you go out will really kickstart your morning to get you raring to go. But that said, morning running isn't for everyone, so do whatever's best for you and your schedule. Just remember, running should be fun and not a chore.
Definitely. And finally, Les Edwards emailed us this month to say he's recently discovered the channel and loves the content. Thanks, Les. However, here is my question. What is the difference between a runner and a jogger? Great question, Les. We decided to throw this one over to you, the running channel community, and we had a lot of responses. Here's a couple of our favourites. This really got you going. Jay Johnson said, a jogger is what people outside of the running community call anyone who isn't running at an elite pace, and as such is met with resistance and derision from people who identify as runners. And Eric Bynum said, a jogger will get into an intersection and jog in place to keep their cardio up. A runner will just stand there and look off until the light changes and they can run again.
I love that. That's all for now, but if you want to tell us what you think the difference between a jogger and a runner is, leave that in the comments. And if you have got a question for next month, then make sure you email asktrc@therunningchannel.com and it could feature in our next show.
Finally, we get to know some of our running pals a bit better in Miles and Kilometres, where we ask some quickfire questions all about running.
Yeah, and this month it is the turn of Shareefa J, model, runner, and all-round awesome human. I met Shareefa when we ran the Vitality London 10K in our sports underwear, and we've been running buddies ever since. So let's see what her answers are to our questions.
Do I measure in miles or kilometres? Well, I think it depends really what mood I'm in, but generally speaking, I'm more of a miles gal. I think just because I'm a Brit, so British people, we love the mile. But kilometres just feels like more. So I think I need to migrate over to kilometres. Would you rather only ever run uphill or only ever run downhill, and why? Who would want uphill? I mean, that's wild. Have you ever tried to run uphill for more than 5 minutes? It is so depressing. So I'm gonna go with downhill, but very carefully, because I feel that might give me shin splints. My greatest personal sporting achievement was, I think, in 2019 when I swam the swim serpentine. I'm a terrible swimmer. I never learned to swim as a kid. Swimming hats don't fit on my head, they scare me. Water scares me, I hate it all. And I faced my fear this year and thought, I'm gonna do an open water swim. and I swam 500 meters, which was the little like, there was kids that were swimming the same as me, the little like baby amount. I swam 500 meters. The whole time I felt like I was drowning, but I got to the end and I did it, and I was really proud of myself, although I did have my goggles on upside down the whole entire time. I faced my fear. I was absolutely terrified, and I lived to tell the tale. So I would say Swim Serpentine 2019. My finish line anthem, it's a really tricky one because I have one that I'm really enjoying at the moment. It's Otto Knows Million Voices. I don't know if you know it, but it's like, ow, 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 ow. I shouldn't sing ever again, but, but that is the song. And so that'd probably be a good finish line anthem. Would I be able to run a faster 10K or an ultra in a decent time? Oh, it's such a tricky one, isn't it? No, it's not. No, it's not tricky. An ultra, definitely, absolutely. Because then when you meet people, you say, hi, how are you? I ran an ultra marathon, what did you do this week? And I think that that is a great thing to be able to say. Other than shoes, the one piece of equipment in my running arsenal that I can't live without, well, here's the one I bought earlier. It would definitely have to be my free train vest, which I just love because it's got all the pockets for keys, and it's got this thing for the phone, and also just feel like a ninja when I'm wearing it. I love it. I can't live without it. I have been running in it for over probably nearly 2 years now. I'm training for the London Marathon. And maybe the Swim Serpentine. I think I'll be doing the Swim Serpentine in September if I can brave the water again. If I weren't able to run anymore, what activity would I participate in? Ooh. I think boxing, because I really love it. And again, anything that makes me feel like a ninja, superpower, kind of like anything that makes me feel stronger and requires a bit of coordination as well. It feels like a real mental workout. I really love boxing. It's definitely my new favourite thing. So it would definitely be boxing.
Oh, good luck with Swim Serpentine, Shareefa, and anyone else who's taking it on next month too.
Don't forget you can win a voucher to spend at show sponsors Wiggle by answering a question about this episode. All you need to do is click the link in the description and submit your answer. T&Cs apply.
Yes, and congrats to Julie Twist, who was the winner of last month's voucher. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Running Channel.